Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be kind of a TBR pile, like to be read books that I want to include in two upcoming book readathon. So there's two readathons that I'm hoping to get to. One of them is like 90% sure, the other one is like 100% sure I'm going to be doing it. So I wanted to just kind of prepare a pile and just share it with you so we can like do it all together because it's always more fun like this. So let's do this. I've actually haven't done any readathon this year yet, which is just crazy because last year I did a couple and I really enjoyed it. So, you know, it needs to happen. My hair is going crazy. First one I'm going to be attempting is the 24 hour in 48 hours. So basically trying to read for 24 hours in 2 days, which I am not going to be super difficult on myself because that weekend there's a possibility that I'm not going to be able to do it at all. But if I do it, I just want to try and read as much as possible. And to make it a little bit more intense for me is I want to try and read all the damn books that I've started and stopped for no freaking reason. None of these books are books that I don't like. But I've been into that habit of just starting a book, not finishing it for no reason at all. And now I'm stuck with a pile and I just selected 4 of them because those are the ones I really, really want to try and finish. There's other ones if I manage to read all of them, but we'll see. So the first one is going to be Wool by Hug Hoey, which I started last year, put it down, didn't continue. I'm at 149 pages. This is a sci-fi dystopian novel where everyone is living in basically in like silo. And like there's like 100 levels and then there's basically like thriller little parts in there and a bunch of stairs. But yeah, I'm like in the middle of the 3rd story because there was like 5 little stories in there and I just never continued. I liked the first one. It really shocked me. I was like, I was not expecting this to like happen. Like I didn't think it was like thriller-ish, so I was shocked. The second one was good and I just need to continue. The whole this is actually a series, a trilogy, so I want to finish this so I can actually continue, but yeah. The second book that I started then stopped for no reason and now I'm stuck trying to finish is the Song of Achilles, which I hate saying in English because it's so different. Achilles, Achille, how? But yeah, this book has a stunning cover and I didn't even say that it was by Madeline Miller. And this is basically a retelling of like Achilles in love with Patroclus. And there's basically like the whole story of what happens. And this is a beautifully written book. And I even enjoyed it. I don't even know. I'm going to stop saying it because it's going to be the case for every single one of them. So I'm at 178 pages. I put down this bookmark right there and I just never continued. The next one is a book that I had started because I thought the genre was magical realism, but turns out that it's not. So I kept waiting for like something to happen that never did and I put it down and then stopped reading it. And it is The Enchanted by Renée Denfeld. And this is basically a story that follows people that are in prison. There's someone that is trying to also help people that are in prison, especially the ones that shouldn't be there. That's what I remember about it because I started it last year, put it down at 130 pages and... But yeah, at least this one I have the excuse that I thought there was some magic in there somewhere and there wasn't. And then last but not least, which I don't know if that's going to be enough, probably. But this one I started last month, again put it down and I know it's going to happen. So I'm like, no, Emily, you do not do this. So I want to finish this one. This is A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I loved the first book in this series, which was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And I really, really enjoy this. It's just that it was a little bit slow paced and I'm still like somewhat on the tail of like a reading slump. And for some reason I just, you know, I wasn't feeling it. But I have read 115 pages and so far I do really like it. But I just want to make sure that I finish it this month. The second readathon that I want to participate in is the Booktubeathon, which happens at the end of the month, and there is 7 challenges, which I did pick books that should work for this, but you know, worst case scenario, I'll just pick and choose whatever else, but those are just the ones that I'm thinking about getting to. So the first challenge is read a book with a person on the cover. I didn't know if it needed to be a real person or if a comic worked. Probably anything will work, but I decided to go with this book because it's gonna be in the next haul that you might have seen before. Is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. And I've heard so many people mention that if you like sci-fi, dystopian type of books, you need to read this one. I think there's like thriller-ish part to it, so I don't want to know more than this, but I just know it's a dystopian and it's pretty messed up from what I've heard. But there's just under 300 pages, so I'm not sure if it's gonna be the easiest read or if it's something that's gonna make my life easier, because I do need to read 7 books, that's the last challenge, in a full week. So I try to not go with things that are too crazy big, but this is the first book and there's definitely someone on the cover. Second challenge is to read a hyped book. And I mean, with BookTube, there's probably a million that could work here, but I wanted to go with Wind Witch, the second book by Suzanne Denard. The first book was Fruit Wish, which I did enjoy and I wanted to continue, so I thought, you know what? It was pretty hyped on YouTube, so I'm gonna be continuing, so I'll just include that one in there. I'm sure other books in my pile could like work if you disagree, but you know, the goal is definitely just to read books. So this is the second one that I'm hoping to read. The third challenge is to read a full book all in one day. So I decided to make my life a little bit easier. And I chose this one. This is The Awakening by Kate Chopin, which is just a classic about a woman that leaves her husband, cheating on her husband, something like that. And I've been wanting to read more classic. This one is pretty short. There's like just over 100 pages. So it shouldn't be too hard for me to finish it in one day. The fourth challenge is to read something about a character that's completely different from you. And I decided to go with an audiobook because I might have time to listen to a book when sometimes I can't actually read. So I thought, you know. So I decided to get The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I've heard quite a few people talk about it. It's basically kind of classic type retelling with homosexual main character in the like 1700s. Something like that. All I know is that this is definitely very different for me, so this is gonna be the book for my fourth challenge. Fifth challenge is to finish a book completely outdoors, so I'm gonna be probably, you know, at the beach trying to read a book, and I decided to read Where Do You Go, Bernadette by Maria Sipple, and I just thought this would be a great contemporary read for summer, and I mean the cover is kind of cool. It's been like on my shelves for really not a long time, and I just heard so many people hyping it, which, see, that could also be a hyped book, and I think it's gonna be just a fun read at the beach. It's definitely one of my biggest ones. There's like 326 pages, but since it's like YA, it shouldn't be too long to read either. The sixth challenge is to read a book you bought because of the cover. I decided to go with In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, and this is a thriller, which means I know nothing about it, but this has been mentioned quite a few times and I absolutely love that cover. For some reason, it just really appealed to me and it's been on my bookshelves for a little while, so I need to get to it. It's like the time of the year where I get really obsessed with thriller horror books, so it's time. And then the last challenge is to read 7 books, which kind of really spoiled that at the beginning. But I decided to give myself something that isn't overly big because I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish it, because I mean 7 books in 7 days is pretty crazy. So I am going with this one. This is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Full disclosure, I did start it earlier, but I'm like 42 pages in and I just put it down for some reason, didn't pick it up. So I'm still gonna count it because there's still like, you know, like 200 more pages. So I don't think it's cheating. Or if it's cheating, so yeah, this is the last book that I'm hoping to read for that challenge. So that's it, guys. So those are all the books that I am hoping to read and all the readathon that I'm hoping to participate into. Let me know if you are planning on doing the same. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to subscribe and not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.